all got hearts that need some loving. Yeah, we've all got lungs that breathe the same air, and we've all got problems. It's always something. It's always something. It's always something. Hey, where the shoes being? Hey, wrapped up in a world of feelings. Hey, dare to be different and believe what you believe in. Hey, don't need a reason. Hey, hey, where does humans begin? Hey, wrapped up in a world of feelings. Hey, dare to be different and believe what you believe in. Hey, don't need a reason. I don't need a reason. You don't need a reason. We don't need a reason. We just humans being.
It's a great song. That is a
And
great
thank you.
one. Wow. So, one of the things, I know, we know each other, we've been working together for a long time, but for everyone else, you've had an amazing path to get where you are, but where did it start? What made you, what made you fall in love with music in the first place?
I think it's my parents always playing music around the house, and
Okay.
different kinds, so as it may be. But the funnier part was I don't think I was ever really into country music growing up, and now that's a lot of what I do is like the pop
Mm,
country world.
right.
So it was like definitely 90s country that brought me into that. And it was just kind of, they always had it on the radio. And it was when Reba and Shania and Faith Hill and Tim McGraw and all those greats came into the world. And I was like, wait a minute, I really love this. Like, what is going on? I love the storytelling and just how
Yeah.
it really evoked emotion and all the songs. I was like, okay, I can get into this. And so that's kind of where my love for all that grew.
Nice. So it was music, and then also this opportunity to communicate. Then it sounds like,
Yes.
because yeah, that's interesting, because country and Americana, there is more of an ability to tell a story than obviously than in some like just straight pop, and that's also what hip hop is kind of cool, is that there's it's similar in that there's a storytelling element
Yeah,
to
so
it.
many messages that are locked into it's like a 3 minute time span, and so
Yeah.
especially country stories for me kind of brought you through beginning to end, and it was just wild how someone in that
Right.
short of time can bring you through so many different things.
Yeah. It's like, the story that each artist tells is unique to themselves, and that's also a compelling thing, is you get to kind of talk about your experience, and then artists, I think, have this job of digesting the world around us and then bringing that back to us. And that's
Right.
been the case, like from the town crier, or from the poets, before there was anything recorded, but now fortunately we get to put it to song. How's it been going lately for you with all the
And it's been a
changes?
wild ride, but I'm not even mad about it. Like my whole year coming into the beginning, January, I had what I thought was my schedule for the year. And when everything shifted, at first it was
Right.
kind of, like everybody else, kind of, wait a minute, what's going on? How do we, what? And the disbelief of like, oh, it's going to be like real quick, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's totally fine that it's not, because in this time it was like a forced reset. And so I've just taken this time to kind of reboot myself and revamp different things and just attack stuff differently. So as an artist, you're always living creatively, right? So you
Right.
get to now live differently, create differently. And it's just been really great. Things like this. I mean, look at streaming. How fun is that?
Yeah.
That's
It
an
is.
amazing way to stay connected and just keep on being,
Do
in
you,
the
do
world.
you do you feel better prepared to kind of deal with something like this? Because as artists, it's not like anyone ever had a job. You didn't. It like you had to fight as an artist, so you have to fight all the time to get rights, get gigs, get everything. So there's uncertainty there. Does that help in this? Do you think?
So I think because I'm like a thrill seeker, that's always been why I'm drawn to the idea of the creative world and being an
Right.
artist. Not only do I get to express myself of how I want to, but it's always different. And I love things that are always changing. So, whether it's travel or it's a different show or different audiences or whatever. So this is for sure, I think, set me up in a really good space where this has been my normal.
Right.
I didn't have a 9 to 5 that I was going to all the time. I had a schedule that I was able to create myself. And so I'm doing the same thing now, but it's just creating things differently now. It's what kind of schedule am I now implementing? What does it look
Right.
like? More writing time right now? Is it more connecting virtually with people? Is it just setting up the next live shows when they can happen? But it's always been that. You're absolutely right. It's always
Yeah.
been not a clear view, but that was kind of what was exciting.
Is there, and one of the reasons that, we all started working together, like I said, at the beginning of our big music journey, I think you might have been the very first artist, but I
Oh,
don't remember, but it's certainly not, an untrue statement, but I know you also had a really close connection with your audience. Is that, and you must be missing playing live hugely, but is
yeah.
that been helping in this digital kind of time because you have maintained such a strong conversation with them,
Well,
you
it's a
know?
beautiful thing that I do have the platforms to be able to still reach out and touch them. When I moved from Boston to Nashville, it was a really great platform already to stay in touch with the New England crowd and
Right.
still get into the world of everything that's happening in Nashville. So they kind of got to come on that journey with me. And now with the different platforms, I mean, I just joined TikTok, man. I am on the TikTok train, and that's been wild. Like, how fun is that? And it's just another platform to connect with people all over the world.
Right.
And playing live shows, I love them. The energy is there, meeting people. I mean, hugging, my favorite thing on the planet, I think.
Yeah.
So when I get to hug
Right.
people again, it's just going to be like, be prepared to be squeezed, man. I'm telling you. But I'm so excited about just the new people that I'm meeting, and it wouldn't happen if I was just constantly on the road. So it's just really, really great. And,
That's
you
cool.
can make any situation a positive one or a negative one. And I choose to be positive about it because there is so many positive aspects of everything that's going on.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's inspirational. What I know you've been doing a bunch of writing. Do you want to share recent stuff, or what do you think about playing next?
Yeah, I mean, we can do some of that. I'll do a couple songs back to back, and it's just some new
Perfect.
writes, some old writes, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Great.
Cool, man.
Thanks, Kristen.
So this one, I think I'll play. It was going to be a possible next single, so I love your feedback, and it's always about raw stuff, right? So when you get into a write, sometimes you want to say, we're writing radio today, or we're gonna write, sync today, or we're gonna write real today, and that was what this choice was. So I was in a room with this fantastic woman, Kat, and Jake Rose, incredible musicians and writers, and this song "Shame" came about. So here it goes. Don't you think I hear all the whispers? Don't you think I feel all your stares? Don't you think I know what you're saying when I'm not there? Ever think how it is on my end? Ever think how your words can crush? Dare you to spend a day in my skin? Feel what it's like to be constantly judged. Shame on the way you're acting. Shame that you can't get past it. Shame that you just can't see I'm more than who I hold hands with. No, I'm not what you're used to. I am no different than you. It's a shame that you just can't see I'm more than who I hold hands with. What's it to you I love? What's it got to do with who I am? How does it change what I'm made of? What's it gonna take to make you understand? Shame on the way you're acting. Shame that you can't get past it. Shame that you just can't see I'm more than who I hold hands with. I know I'm not what you're used to, but I am no different than you. It's a shame that you just can't see Shattered, you're killing me. Shattered, I'm shattered, you're killing me. Shattered. Shame on the way you're acting. Shame that you can't get past it. Shame that you just can't see. I'm more than who I hold hands with. I know I'm not what you're used to. I am no different than you. It's a shame that you just can't see. I'm more than who I hold hands with. And I'm more than who I hold hands with. So that's one song that was written, and we had such a fun time writing that. But man, what a wild ride, because you never know what's going to come out when you sit down. And when they asked me, like, okay, let's be open, let's be raw, let's be real, that was intense. You know, when you dig deep and it's like, here's my diary and I'm going to sing it to everybody. But sometimes those are the best things, to really move people with things. You know, it's my story, and sometimes a lot of people can relate to it, and I love that. But sometimes you get in a room with people and you just want to write and have fun. So this next song, it was a quarantine write, and that means it was virtual. So I was in this room with these people that I have never met. I had met this girl at a coffee shop, and she was like, hey, I've heard that I should write with you. And she writes with one of my friends. And so we've never connected. And we got into this virtual room and we started writing this song. And so it was with Nell and this girl, Meredith. And we had ourselves a good time by writing a song called Bad Decisions. So here goes. Woke up still holding the beer can, ashtray smoking on the nightstand, 3 stamps on the back of each hand. I wanna get up, but I can't stand. Room is spinning. I'm remembering all the shit I did. I wish I didn't. Lit a match and burn my bridges. I'm real good at throwing back them whiskey sours, emptying my bank account, staying up till they close down. Oh, I'm getting real good, making bad decisions. Car parked on the corner of Church Street, these boots still stuck on my feet. I just found my house keys hanging from the lock on my front door. Moon is spinning. I'm remembering all the shit I did. I wish I didn't. Lit a match and burn my bridges. I'm real good. Throwing back them whiskey sours, emptying my bank account, staying up till they close down. Oh, I'm getting real good at making bad decisions. Who knew rock bottom would have all these empty bottles? And all the shit I did, I wish I didn't. Lit a match and burn my bridges. I'm real good at throwing back them whiskey sours, emptying my bank account, staying up till they close down. Oh, I'm getting real good at making bad decisions. Bad decisions, yeah.
I mean, there's a whole like subgenre of country that's just about bad decisions.
Absolutely.
That's so great. I love that song, but shame's really that's a great track, Kristen. That
Man, thank you. I'm
I
excited.
definitely got very emotional listening to that. You know, it's how, you know, there's this not responsibility, or I guess there's a responsibility for all human beings, but a responsibility for artists. How do you, and obviously it's very personal, but it's also, like that song is amazing because the song is great. Like the melodies are great. That first melodic interlude is a real neat contrast to this heavy kind of the heavy message, but the chorus is really strong. So you have this opportunity to put this message into a package that we can absorb in a different way as well, which is amazing. But it's got to be tough bearing your soul when you don't know what the listener is going to be doing when it gets absorbed.
It's a wild experience to do something like that because it's super vulnerable, especially when it's a song that you're writing, that's so close to home. It is very personal. It's experiments, that's being
Yeah.
put to words and song. But I can't tell you what I feel when I play it out just because I want to play it out. Like, hey, this is a song I just wrote, and see what happens. And the feedback that I've gotten from it has been mind blowing, man. I mean,
Oh wow! Right.
There was this one time I played a place downtown, and I was just playing just to play because I played there, every week and had a great time with my friends that were all crazy, amazing musicians. Monday night, what are you going to do? Go hang out with talented people. So I played the song, and afterwards, a gentleman came up to me and he said, "I just wanted to say thank you." I was like, "Cool, man. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it."
Right.
And he was like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I didn't really care for," and he was really nervous to talk to me and say the things he was saying because he was basically saying, like, "I don't like your people, like your type. I don't like the gays." And I was like, "Okay."
Wow.
He said, "That song, it truly moved me, and I tell you right now, from this day forward, I will never ever think that way again." And he's like, "I'm so excited to call my daughter." He was just I got chills just right now thinking about it. He was so moved, and instantly that song hit him in a way where it changed his entire perspective that he's always his whole life been thinking. And he had this whole new, like, he saw the world through different eyes that night, man. And it was intense.
Wow.
And so for him to be that moved, he was like, "I cannot wait to
Wow.
call my daughter." And this, like, he was just like super emotional about it. And that's just moved me, and it still moves me.
Yeah. That's
So
amazing. It's an amazing story. I mean, we all, the whole mantra in art is like, if I could just change one person's mind about something, and not only did you probably change way more than one, but having that understanding that it actually happened, that's really special.
it touched
Uh,
me, and that's something that just I turned to him. I said, "This is why I do what I do," and you just reminded me of
right.
that. Thank you so much because that's so moving to me.
Yeah. That's amazing. I think, hopefully we see that, songs like it's great to have fun songs, but I think, with all the stuff that's gone on, it's been so much raw, you use the word raw, and there's been so much rawness in socially that, I think hopefully a difference between a hit song and a raw song will become less, and and I think that it's really great that you package that song in a way that is so raw, but is so still, it's a great song too, you know, which is not,
Uh,
it's not even easy to do the great song part of it or the raw part, but to put them both
right?
together is,
Yeah, but I think what was the success part in that whole thing was just we didn't sit down to write a hit. We sat down to write a meaningful something or other, and that's why
right.
Kat turned to me and said, "I want to write something raw today." And I said, "Okay." Like, I didn't realize what she was meaning when she was like, "I don't want to do commercial. I don't, no bubble gum. Let's do something that means something." And I said, "Cool." So we just had conversations, and that whole song came about because I'm just blabbing, running my gums here, and all of a sudden
Right.
I had just said, she asked me about difficulties in the industry and if I was like coming up against any or whatever. And I tend to not really think of those things as
Right.
any hurdles. I'm like, well, whatever. And so as I'm talking, I'm like, I'm more than who I hold hands with, blah, blah, blah. She's like, "Stop." And I didn't know what I said. So she circled back to that line and she was like,
Right.
"That's what we're writing."
That's
So,
some, how, and is it with your writing partners? How is it, as a producer, you always see like people sometimes don't know when they're doing their best work. They're amazing, but it's just that outside perspective. Is that what your writing partners bring a lot of times? Is that ability to so you can be free and they're going to respond like an audience?
every write is so different. And so in every writer that I write with, we all have different ways of attacking the song individually, let alone like when we come together. But
Right.
that's what's the magic in the whole thing is that you never know what that day is going to bring. Even if you've written with this person 100 times, there's always something different because life happens every single day, you know?
Right.
So every single day is something new and amazing. And that's something that's really fun to find out, you know, what's the magic of the day going to bring?
Right. Nice. Awesome. Well, this is, we could talk all day, but I'm really impressed with your music as always. Should we finish up and then say goodbye and then plan the next one?
That is fantastic. I would
All
love
right.
that. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Cool, man. So I'm going to end this here with a song I wrote with one of my dear friends, Lauren Weintraub. And if y'all don't know who Lauren Weintraub is, whew, this girl is just force to be reckoned with. And so I was blessed enough to be able to get in the room with her. You know, outside of being friends and doing fun things, we get to sit down and create together. And it's a really wonderful time when you get to create emotional stuff because you go through a lot in life. So we kind of sat down and came up with this song after spinning through a bunch of ideas, landed on this song called Illegal. And let's know what you guys think about it. I was home alone about 7:45. Saw a shadow on the wall, about 5'9". Then he stood right there in the kitchen, stone cold man on a mission. Those empty eyes didn't recognize. With just a couple words, he shook my world. Then he turned his back and headed for my front door like nothing ever happened. It should be illegal to break a heart like that. It should be illegal to leave and not look back, to leave someone unfixable. I swear that shit is criminal. It should be illegal. It should be illegal to look so good while doing something bad. If you need proof, he left tire tracks. Whoever wrote the heartbreak law, me and them need to talk. It should be illegal to break a heart like that. It should be illegal to leave and not look back, to leave someone unfixable. I swear that shit is criminal. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. Mayday, this is an emergency. Oh, Mayday, he's still out there running free. Mayday, this life sentence he's given me should be illegal. It should be illegal. It should be illegal to break a heart like that. It should be illegal to leave and not look back, to leave someone unfixable. I swear that shit is criminal. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. This is an emergency. Illegal. He's still out there running free. Illegal. This life sentence he's given me should be illegal. It should be illegal.
Wow. Another one. Amazing. I think we've got a deep songbook of Kristen Merlin to explore here. So, like I said, let's definitely not make this the last. And thanks again for joining us, and thanks for being a part of the Big Music family for so long. You know,
thanks for having me. It is such a blessing. You guys have been so good to me throughout the years, and every experience we get to go through, it's just, it keeps growing. So it's incredible. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, awesome. So we'll be in touch. We'll see you again soon, and be well, and thanks again. Take care, Kristen.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. Wow. What an amazing pleasure. Kristen Merlin, like I said, has been with us for a long time. Check her out. She's done a lot of work and has an amazing group of fans, and has done a lot of work on both sides in terms of live and recording, and has been a real inspirational part of our journey at Big Music. So we're really grateful to have her along with us for this and continue the collaboration. So join us tomorrow, and we're gonna do another rewind. So that's going to be really fun as well. And as always, shout out to musicians on call who bring the healing power of music to those in need. And also, Big Music supports Black Lives Matter. You can check our socials for how we're going to be a positive part of social justice moving forward. So thanks, everybody. And as always, live to listen.